Hello and welcome to the Weekend News, live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. I am Lima Peters Macaulay. Coming up in this edition, Sierra Leone joins other countries to observe World Health Day. Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Youth Affairs engages key players in the youth sector. Catholic Archdiocese of Freetown concludes annual Lenten pilgrimage with procession to Mount Calvary, St. Paul's Major Seminary. And President Julius Bio outlines successes in his first year in office to participants. All these stories and more lined up in this edition of Weekend News. April 7th every year is set aside by the World Health Organization as World Health Day. The theme of this year's celebration is universal health coverage. The theme of this year's celebration by WHO is key to achieving and ensuring that everyone can obtain the care they need when they need it right in the heart of their community. Mama Suma has been looking at the recent major diseases and some of the challenges facing the health sector in the country. Please be reminded that some of the pictures in the report might be disturbing.
Universal health coverage is the WHO #1 goal key to achieving and ensuring that everyone can obtain the care they need when they need it right in the heart of their community. Sierra Leone is currently faced with serious challenges when it comes to administering proper health care to young, adults and aged people in the country. Progress is being made in so many countries and regions in the world. Millions of people are still out there facing numerous challenges in accessing proper health care services. Millions who are forced to choose between health care service and other daily expenses such as food, clothing and a home. Organ diseases such as the heart, kidney, liver, lungs, among others, are becoming very alarming in the country. People have to travel all the way to India or Ghana to access better health facility, and that only goes for those that can afford it, otherwise they die. 4 out of 6 children need to be flown out of the country urgently for medical treatment. Jeremiah Kuruma, a 3-year-old boy with imperforated anus. Amina Tamara, a 16-year-old with left eye orbit tumor. Mustafa Tunis, a 13-year-old with a spina bifida, and Badamasi Samura with Wilms tumor. Programs Manager Caritas Freetown and the lead campaigner for Sick Babies Project, Ishmael Alfred Charles, has been very effective in seeking support for these children. According to Ishmael Charles, $97,000 is needed for the treatment of these children.
These children are in need of $97,000, and we have just started to raise funds for them, and we've only able to raise, in the past 1 month, we've only been able to raise about 9 million leones, which means we're still very far away from the reality, and hence we need to be able to continue to push more people, and that is why we're coming up with new strategies to be able to augment the campaign.
These are also a set of people that were affected by cancer and tumor on the part of their body. They are going through hard times and they need urgent treatment.
This my sister was sick, so this care, so it begin pana is small.
She is my sister, but she's very sick, as you can see. We have been to many hospitals in the country. Until now, we don't know the cause of her sickness. We have been asked to pay $10,000 to do her surgery outside the country, but we don't have such money. We are appealing to government and other humanitarian organizations for support.
Cost me, they say $10,000, so we will not get that money.
So I can't have return.
I am from Sandama Bolonto. I am here with my son who is sick. We went to Sarola Hospital, but we were referred to Ecomed. I don't have any support. They asked us to pay 3 million leones, but I can't afford that amount. We are calling on the government for support.
I don't get nothing. I can't help me no more now.
At present, the country's main referral hospital, Connaught, is being operated without a dialysis machine. Patients have to go to a private clinic to access a dialysis machine, and that too with a higher cost for those who can afford. Dr. Sogo Kabia is a consultant nephrologist at the Connaught Hospital. He said the dialysis center at the hospital needs urgent attention. He said a country cannot do without dialysis, otherwise people will lose their lives. He furthered that only a private doctor has a dialysis machine at Campbell Street in Freetown.
That is the challenge. And now it's even more than $100. And it's something we cannot do without. People cannot say it's too expensive, so you cannot do without dialysis in any country. Because any of us, anybody could be afflicted with kidney disease at any time through a motor accident, through illness, through medication you might take, through high blood pressure, through diabetes. So it is there, high prevalence worldwide, particularly in our countries where the medical system, in terms of preventive, is not as well established as in other places.
Amidst all these challenges, government is fighting very hard to prove better health service for its people. Recently, the country director UNDP, Dr. Samuel Doe, handed over 15 brand new hardtop four-wheel drive Toyota Land Cruiser mini trucks for the distribution of drugs and medical supplies to peripheral health unit to the Ministry of Health and Sanitation. Also, it could be recalled that sometimes in January 2019, President Biya received a check from the Anti-Corruption Commission for the money collected from some individuals who were indicted by the Commission. President Biya, upon receiving that check, made a pronouncement that a diagnostic hospital will be constructed in the country with the revenue collected by the Anti-Corruption Commission. The construction of the diagnostic center, according to President Biya, will save many lives in the country and economically will save the country from a huge loss of sending people to India or Ghana for treatment, adding that citizens of this nation deserve better.
But what you've reported, we are going to make sure that we contribute to the medical diagnostic center, which is going to be built in Sierra Leone. Some we spend huge amounts of money to send people to Ghana and other places. Some portion of this amount is going to be used for the construction of a medical diagnostic center.
Programs Manager Caritas Freetown and the lead campaigner for Sick Babies Project, Ishmael Alfred Charles, appreciated that pronouncement made by President Biya, adding whilst the government is trying to construct the diagnostic center, a child fund emergency account must be established to save the children whenever the need arises. Meanwhile, World Health Day targets so many health issues: hepatitis B, HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis, stroke, among others, remain to be the most talked about diseases worldwide. SLBC made all efforts to reach the Ministry of Health but proved futile. SLBC News, Mariam Asuma reporting.
The Catholic Archdiocese of Freetown has concluded its annual Lenten pilgrimage with procession to Mount Calvary, St. Paul's Major Seminary. Pilgrimage has been part of the Christian tradition and a spiritual journey to a sacred place. Pilgrimage is like a retreat to concentrate on the spiritual life without distraction, as well as a time for prayer for special intention, meditation, and to offer thanksgiving for blessings received. We bring you highlights of the occasion that was also attended by President Biya and family.
Can also be a highly sociable activity, allowing us to enjoy the company of others who meet us on the road. It gives us the chance to re-energize us mentally, physically, and spiritually. It also allows us to reconnect with our cultural heritage and the natural world around us, as well as to refresh our faith or seek new spiritual direction with and in the Lord.
The Lord has called him, he has gone ahead. Lonely road, lonely road. Christ is crucified. We adore you, Christ, and we praise you. Because by your holy cross you have redeemed our world.
My mortal life. But now another life begins for Mary and for Magdalene, for Peter, for John, for you. The world is dotted with the crosses of innocent victims of disease, hunger, poverty, tragic accident, senseless wars. My work as man is done. My work within and through the church must now commence. I look to you. You are my friend. You are my apostle. You are my victim. You are my saint. Therefore, take up your cross now and follow me.
Diocese to congratulate you on your first anniversary as president and to assure you of our prayers for the success of your dreams, your vision, and your aspirations for this country. Because when you succeed, it is Sierra Leone and its people who have succeeded. So we all have a stake in this thing, and so we assure you of our prayers. That God may bless you and guide you, and also all who are supporting you. Because when there is peace around you, then we know when you go to that office, you think about the country, not about what is happening back home or around you. So we pray for all who are around you, close to you, your wife, your relatives and friends, that we may all work together to make this thing work in the interest of Sierra Leone and the development of its people.
Yes, I shall arise and return to my Father. The second is, God of mercy and compassion. With those two songs, it gives enough reflection on what we do during Lent. The church has given us an opportunity during the period of Lent to reflect and come to that consciousness to make the U-turn. Yes, I shall arise and return to my Father. Which kind of Father? The God of mercy and compassion. At the beginning of Lent, Ash Wednesday, we set ourselves with 3 pillars: prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. And the usual gospel reading for Ash Wednesday, year A, B, and C, reminds us that all of those should be done secretly, that your Father who sees you in secret will grant you your reward. So this is the 5th week we have carried out these 3 pillars: prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. And this afternoon we want to take a perspective of our journey of Lent with these 3 pillars in focus: prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. The liturgical readings are precisely selected to guide us on our journey through Lent. Every year, year A, B, and C, the first Sunday of Lent presents to us the gospel of the temptation of Jesus. This is not coincident, but this is purposeful, because we could realize that each time we set ourselves, dedicate ourselves to God, that's the time the devil is also very active. And that is the time we sway ourselves. St. Paul says, the things I want to do, I don't do. The things I don't want to do, are the very things I see myself doing. So the first Sunday of Lent always gives us the guide that it was possible for Christ to overcome temptation, and therefore it is possible for us. The devil comes with 3 P to tempt: power, prestige, and pleasure. If the one miss you on power, it will not miss you on pleasure, it will not miss you on prestige. Change this stone into bread. Worship me and I will give you all this kingdom. So the 3 P we should be mindful of. So the first Sunday of Lent sets that stage for us, that it is possible to overcome this temptation during the 40 days that we identify with the 40 days that Jesus spent in the wilderness and overcome temptation.
President Julius Maada Bio has called on the Sierra Leone people's participants to continue to be united and speak with one voice. He made this call during a visit to the party headquarters at Wallis Johnson Street to update party members about successes made so far during his first 1 year in office. Supporters expressed gratitude to the president about various strides made so far, especially the free quality education. Hawa Musiri was there.
Supporters of the Sierra Leone People's Party gave a tumultuous welcome to President Bio and First Lady Fatima Bio. Updating the supporters, President Julius Maada Bio told supporters that his administration's first year in office centered on rebrand the country's image and putting strategies in place to fulfill his campaign promises, especially the free quality education, which has benefited over 2 million people. His administration, he stated, inherited battered economy and that for the 1 year the government has been busy gathering revenue to develop the country, the reason why he has been able to convince international partners to invest in Sierra Leone.
One thing where a leadership for do now for inspire hope. Where hope not there, human being not there, anything for live for.
The SLPP, he said, is the only party that is able to solve the country's problems. Corruption, President Bio went on, has been a major problem that has brought the country backward.
We're not going to provide jobs for everybody in 1 year. We're not going to deal with all the problems that in 1 year. They can't go what we meet. Last week when I heard about the audit report also, 1 billion, over $1 billion. That are the one where they check no more. Luckily, not those salon people they check. But people they will come on other country. And a few places no more they look. They realize they over 1 billion. When I tell me, if that kind day, then a few people in pocket, how the ground will so, how the ground up will dry.
First Lady Fatima Bio commended members for the support that they have pledged, appealing to them to continue to be patient as President Bio is working hard to find solutions to the problems that inherited. She told the supporters that her husband is a caring president and called on the supporters to continue to be united and speak with one voice. Organizing Secretary of the Sierra Leone People's Party, Jimmy Batilo Songa, told supporters that the president has been very busy working on the fulfillment of the party's promises made during the elections. He appealed to the supporters to be patient as the president has plans for them. One of the youths, Bokari Kowa, said other party stalwarts have not been encouraging them at all, as he appealed to the president to provide more jobs for them and scholarships for students. SABC TV News Eye in Freetown, Hawa Musiri reporting.
The Parliamentary Youth Committee, together with the Research Unit in Parliament, with support from Westminster Foundation for Democracy, has engaged policymakers in the youth sector to develop a 3-year participatory committee work plan. The plan, according to the chairman of the Youth Committee, Honorable Abdul Kago, is to support the advancement of youth in Sierra Leone through legislation, oversight and representation. The session took place at the conference room in Parliament, Toelin Freita. The Grand Summary report.
The rationale for engaging these policymakers and professionals in the youth sector was to understand emerging issues of interest to youth and what will be the expectations from the Parliamentary Youth Committee in context of their roles in formulating legislation, oversight and representation. Chairman Parliamentary Youth Committee Honorable Abdul Kago said the engagement to enhance public participation in the development of a 3-year working plan to support the advancement of youth in the country. He said the forum will also help to raise awareness among committee members on the existing laws and policies on youth and the corresponding challenges in the implementation of these instruments.
We want to look at the excesses. We want to let it be contemporary. If it is obsolete, we want to see how best we can be able to amend those laws to suit to our contemporary youthful challenges that we are exposed to. So that is one reason for which we decided to summon you all to this gathering. And also we want to understand what works, what have been tested and have shown sustained impact on the youth empowerment and development. Of course, we have attempted several operations. We have attempted several laws, some of which are successful, some of which are not successful. So we want to be able to create a platform in which we can distinguish between the successful ones and those that are not successful. That is one of the reasons for which we have decided to summon you all.
The coordinator of Parliamentary Research Unit, Gilbert Hamby, said Parliament and a development partner hosted the forum to support members of Parliament to develop a comprehensive framework and working plan for youth development in the country. He said youths are faced with several challenges, noting that with a sound legal framework, it will help to address and properly coordinate youth activities.
You will agree with me that youth issues in Sierra Leone has been contentious. It's one thing that have actually led to a lot of emergent issues in our nation. First of all, in the absence of young people not being capacitated enough to respond to emergent needs, we've had a lot of problems in this country. So we want to believe once we address the youth question, issues bordering on young people, we'll be able to address a lot of emerging things. Most of the young people are not employed. We don't have a solid kind of policy or programs for young people, which is why, for the greater part for young people, they don't feel that they are part of the decision-making process.
Presentations were made on legislation supporting the advancement of youth in the country, government initiative on youth empowerment and development, updates on the National Youth Service Scheme, and a research from Restless Development on youth engagement in development. Participants also used the session to share experiences of government support to youth from other countries and youth contribution to their economies. These presentations will form the basis for developing the committee's 3-year working plan.
Jalai University Boltoma campus has said millions of leones worth of furniture and academic materials were destroyed by the March 16th fire accident, which engulfed one of the buildings that housed many offices and classrooms. Nearly a month since the building got burnt down, the Alumni Association has started raising funds to meet the cost of rebuilding the structure, as close to 500 million leones is needed for the project. Aspewell visited the campus.
This campus used to be Bo Teachers College, established after independence to train teachers. The college then produced many of the country's teachers, but in 2005, the government restructured the University of Sierra Leone and created a new university called Njala University, removing it from the University of Sierra Leone. and this Bo Teachers College was subsumed under the Njala University. This is one of the campuses of the Njala University called the Tuoma campus, which houses close to 4,000 students. The fire on March 16th left in its wake destruction that is still being counted. The fire destroyed all the furniture, academic materials including dissertations, lecture notes, reports, and research findings. It housed human kinetics and health education, language arts departments, math and science departments, among others.
This is the room where the fire started on the 16th of March. It used to be a classroom for master's candidates. From here, the inferno started, and it's transferred to other classrooms and other offices that caused the destruction on that fateful day on the 16th of March. Even in normal time, this campus struggles to provide accommodation for workers and also students. So you ask yourself, in this abnormal time, how is the campus coping to ensure that the day-to-day running of the campus is done effectively?
Since Njala University took over this campus close to 2 decades ago, only 2 buildings have been erected: the School of Social Science and Law and the Early Childhood Education Resource Center. Dr. Saidu Chale is the acting Deputy Vice Chancellor, University Secretary at Bo campus. He is still recounting the losses.
Well, it's actually very, how can I describe it, very disturbing, because the only facility we had for the School of Education got burned down completely. Well, we cannot quantify this in terms of, especially for books, we cannot quantify that because we had a large collection of books that were completely burnt down. But in terms of other furniture, we had office furniture, we had classroom chairs, we had computers, laptops in each of these offices, projectors. I think we had colleagues who had their personal projectors who lost all to this accident.
Even in normal times, the campus grapples with accommodation for students and offices for lecturers. Some of the staff are either using makeshift spaces or are having what can be referred to as mobile offices, as can be seen from this man who is carrying his printer. Students are also using veranda to take their exams. What is left of the building, where classes are going on, can best be described as a danger zone, as the building is having serious leaks with just the first rains that Bo has experienced. After the incident, a team was assembled to look into the causes of the fire. According to the report, rodents had eaten the cables, which led to a spark and resulted to the fire accident.
Well, at now we don't even have, my staff members, including myself, we don't have offices. So in fact, in most cases, students say, oh, my office is in my bag. Even to sign their grades, there are no points, or their course forms, no places to sign them. So it's really devastating, you see. Before that, we were responsible for printing some of our documents, but there are no computers, there are no printers. So sometimes we have to even go to town to do some printing because all the office equipment are down.
The building is now in ruin. This is what is left of it now. The university alumni is now seeking support to help rebuild the burnt-down structure. According to the estimate, nearly 500 million is needed to rebuild and furnish the structure.
As of now, it is only the Alumni Association, Njala University Alumni Association, that has actually shown some interest in coming to our aid by pleading to well-wishing alumni and other benefactors to come to our aid. But for now, we have not received any group of people as of now.
In a country where government is overwhelmed with spending, one is left to wonder, when will government turn its attention to this campus, which is in dire need of its building and other facilities? The reason why the Alumni Association is now on the vanguard in a resource mobilization. As the college continues to make use of what it has for now, the earlier they are helped, be better for the students and the administration, who, even in normal times, life is not normal. For SLBC News, Asmiuba.
The every last Saturday National Cleaning Day exercise is almost 1 year now and is expected to have made the country cleaner and reduce the health problems several unions have been grappling with. Let's find out how much has changed within Freetown in this report by Patrick Salia as he was out and about during the Saturday cleaning.
Hundreds joined to clean up the streets and compounds, making a massive and impressive turnout in this initiative launched by President Julius Maada Bio almost 1 year ago. The Freetown City Council has been encouraged with the level of compliance so far. Yvonne Akisoya is the mayor of Freetown.
So far, I see more people are using the bags, and I also actually hope that people have been listening to the messages and they've not been waiting and keeping all their waste. It's going to be a process, but I believe the message is beginning to get through.
The rains have started pouring again and will soon be heavy. In the rainy season over the years, streets and drainages got blocked, and that caused flooding which was deadly to this city. Slum communities, mostly found in coastal areas, have always been at high risks because they serve as the superstores for all wastes that come from the hilltop and the city center. Kurube has been notorious for that, even though several mitigation efforts have been attempted and implemented. The cleaning of the popular Sambagota on the April National Cleaning Day with funds and operations from Irish Aid and the United Nations Office for Project Services is just one of the measures being implemented to mitigate flooding.
As we're kicking off our preparations for the flood mitigation, National Cleaning Day today, all over the city, the emphasis is on cleaning gutters so that we're getting ready for the rains. The rains have surprised us. They've come a whole month early. But we need to get on top of the game and beat the rain.
After the cleaning, the water can now easily flow through the drainage and empty into the sea. But this is definitely not the ultimate solution. The waste management system in Freetown is, however, gradually getting better than before the national monthly cleaning was reintroduced in May last year. Households, meanwhile, are still in the habit of storing tons of rubbish they generate the whole month, including unwanted mattresses and disused household items. And just around the corner, precisely on 10th April, the Freetown City Council is expected to reward communities that have achieved the most significant progress in cleanliness, beautification, sustainability, and innovative solutions. It is part of a competition that was launched on Wednesday, 10th October last year, as one of the initiatives under the umbrella of the Sanitation Working Group for the over 300 zones in the country's main capital. Agnes Mara, Councillor for Ward 407 within Constituency 116, is highly optimistic of winning the solar-powered street lights, a water point, pavement of roads, and scholarship support for local children as the ultimate prize.
I am well prepared and I'm sure that I'm going to be the luckiest winner for this competition. As you can see, you also can testify that all my areas and drainages are clean. That is to tell you that I'm well prepared for this competition. The cleanliness is not only here, but as you go around my ward, you can see everywhere, even the remote area, you can testify that all these areas are clean. To tell you that I'm going to be the luckiest winner or the victorious in this cleanliness competition.
Our ward covers Kongowata in Wellington, one of the most critical areas for waste management in the east of the city. This award is aimed at motivating communities to carry the spirit of National Cleaning Day into everyday life and ensure that they properly dispose their wastes.
The International Labour Organization has launched the Enabling Environment for Sustainable Enterprises Assessment Report on Sierra Leone. The assessment findings, which touched on political, economic and social conditions in Sierra Leone, was launched by the Minister of Trade and Industry, Peter Bayeko-Conte. Sariba Samuel reports.
It gives me the greatest pleasure to now officially launch the ILO Government of Sierra Leone Enabling Environment Sustainable Enterprise Report.
The EESE report contains analytical literature and information gathered through a perception survey among 497 enterprises, mainly micro, small and medium-sized. The country director of the International Labour Organization, Dennis Zulu, said the importance of the report cannot be overstated because it seeks to strengthen fiscal intensification through the SMEs. He went further that the lack of enabling environment is what is responsible for poor performance of small, medium-sized enterprises.
But also in terms of how an enterprise is managed and governed, its legal status and operational objectives. All enterprises, as you know, are part of society as they shape and are shaped by the communities in which they operate. Promoting sustainable enterprises is about strengthening the institutions and governance systems which nature enterprises. Strong and efficient markets need strong and effective institutions.
Mr. Zulu maintained that the entire report is sold to business as it aims at producing optimum results. Officially launching the report, the Minister of Trade and Industry, Peter Bayuku Conte, talked about the plans to recruit technical staff and hopes to collaborate with the Ministry of Transport and Aviation. He added that the report directs the ease of doing business and allows more players while reducing monopoly. Despite substantial efforts undertaken by governments in the West Africa sub-region, there is need for increased financial injection into small and medium-sized enterprises to the path of development of innovations. Soriba Samura, Freetown.
Dairy General Service has officially launched its Agro-tourism project, which aims at empowering youth in basic agricultural engagement, skills training in rice cultivation, tuber crops, and vegetable ornament. The launching, which took place at the Radisson Blue Hotel, brought together both government officials and other stakeholders. Joseph Touye witnessed the event and now reports.
Sierra Leone has produced many graduates from both universities and technical vocational institutes. However, the issue of employment for all of them, especially the youth, has been a serious challenge to both past and present governments. Many youths shy away from activities surrounding agriculture, which is key to food security, create employment, and contribute to the GDP of the country. This organization, which comprises young and energetic people, sees agro-tourism as the way forward for the nation's development. Launching the project, the keynote speaker, Kamoke Conte, encouraged members of the organization to hold on their vision and to also deviate from any form of distraction.
Please believe in yourself. One thing I want you to do not just be carried away by this fanfare. And Mr. Ramadan Jallo, Mr. James, if there is any youth that is coming on board that does not believe in your dream, please do away with him or her. One of the reasons why I feel, because I gathered so many youths of my colleagues, but they never believed in my dream.
Chief Executive Officer, Dairy General Service, Ramadan Jallo, in his presentation underscored some of the benefits the project will have on the beneficiary.
The only way you can learn to be responsible is to take up your own responsibility. And the best way possible to do that is to engage into income generation activities. So that is what we intend to do. Get these young people to work on the farm, own portions of land on the farm. Those who are pursuing pursuing courses in the western urban areas, who cannot work on that farm on a daily basis, their families can come and sign for those portions of land. They work there. The proceeds, 60% will have to go to the young people.
The Minister of Tourism, Memunatu Pratt, pledged the government's unrelenting support to these young entrepreneurs, noting that they are the kind of youth the country wants to see in developmental strides. Other speakers from the private sectors and related institutions also pledged their commitment and urged them to be steadfast in their dreams. Joseph Touye, SLBC News, Freetown.
900 suggestion boxes are to be installed in schools all over the country. The suggestion boxes are for pupils to express their views on the free quality education program. This was disclosed by the Executive Director of Hill Sierra at the launching of the Free Quality Education Suggestion Boxes project at the St. Joseph's Convent, Brookfields. The project is supported by UNICEF and Irish Aid through the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. Daphne Kema-Macaulay reports.
The suggestion boxes to be distributed in schools around the country are for pupils benefiting from the free quality education to express their views. Their views on the free quality education and other issues relating to the welfare of pupils and teachers in schools will be beneficial to the scheme. Deputy Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education Emily Gogra said the suggestion boxes are not only for students but also for staff of schools.
A suggestion box is one of the most democratic installations in any institution one can have. It offers students and teachers and workers an opportunity to air out their views. Suggestion, complaints, or any other information which they deem necessary for the school administration to address. Even the administrators themselves, the principals, need to use the suggestion box because they have school board of governors, they have the proprietors. Sometimes in opening them, I suggest they do it after every 2 weeks, they put it at the assembly and they open it up. They should be transparent in what they do.
The Executive Director of Hill Sierra Leone, Joseph Sano, said the launching of the suggestion boxes is in observance of the one-year anniversary of President Bio. He said pupils will have the opportunity to make complaints if they are being violated, adding that the boxes will be collected every Friday and collated for actions by government. He added that his organization will monitor the implementation of the scheme.
We can have your comments, maybe positive, maybe negative, about the free quality education. Maybe you have distributed books, but you have not received books. Maybe you came to school and the principal asked you to pay 500,000, 1 million. Don't argue. You can write something and deposit it in those boxes.
Responding to questions from pupils, the Public Relations Officer of the Education Ministry, Brahma Michael Toure, highlighted the achievements of the Free Quality Education Program. For SLBC News, Daphne Kema-Macaulay reporting.
The National Civil Registration Authority has ended a 10-day training on civil registration and vital statistics and identity management targeting civil societies, MDs, and other line institutions. The training focused on assessing the tools that guide countries to comprehensively and holistically review their civil registration and vital statistics system. The training was held at the Occasion Hotel, Laka. Esther Marie Samuel has more.
This training was designed to identify the tools that could be used in controlling data system. The assessment tools covered 3 major areas, including civil registration, vital statistics, and the generation of cause of death, as they will be assessed against the legal framework, management and operations, and cultural factors influencing registration of vital events and collection of information on cause of death. Director General of National Civil Registration Authority, Mohamed Massakoy, commended the participants for their efforts in actualizing the assessment tools through their active participation in the process. According to him, 14 days have been set aside for these participants to go to the field to collect data from the people on the tools they've identified, and in turn, those tools will be assessed. According to some of the participants, the training has broadened their knowledge on the importance of civil registration and vital statistics.
And the training we've got so far indeed had opened up so many things like the legal framework, the quality of the data being collected. You know, far too long we've been grappling with it that, I mean, we cannot even analyze data we got from institutions, secondary data. In our analysis, we have to do primary data collection at household level. But I mean, having an improved system of civil registry and vital statistics, we can use that data in doing our projections, doing our analysis.
Completed the 10 days training, and we are now all set to go into the field to look at what are the gaps, what are the conflicts in the laws that we have in the country, so that we can harmonize them, so that we'll have a single register wherein we will be able to know how many Sierra we have, how many foreigners we have in this country.
Grace Haman, National Consultant, Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Comprehensive Country Assessment, said the training was very necessary, which, according to her, will be looking at legal and policy framework for civil registration and vital statistics.
So we want to look at institutions, all those who do some sort of registration, and a long list of them. We identify them as key stakeholders, and we're going to go at HQ level, national level, district level, regional, and community level. So we'll be interviewing these people. We have a tool, we have a set of questions we'll be asking all of them, and then come back and do a report in a month's time that will then be endorsed, and from which we'll develop the national strategy plan.
The 14-day data collection will commence on Tuesday, targeting the entire country. Esther Marie Samoa, SLBC.
Now for African news. Libya's UN-backed government says 21 people have been killed and 27 wounded in fighting near the capital Tripoli. Earlier, the UN appealed for a 2-hour truce so casualties and civilians could be evacuated, but fighting continued. Rebel forces under General Khalifa Haftar have advanced from the east with the aim of taking Tripoli. Prime Minister Fayez al-Sarraj has accused him of attempting a coup and says rebels will be met with force. Among the dead was a Red Crescent doctor killed on Saturday. General Haftar's forces said they had lost 14 fighters. International powers have begun evacuating personnel from Libya amid the worsening security situation. Rwanda's president has said the country had become a family once again, while marking the 25th anniversary of the genocide that killed 800,000 people. Paul Kagame, who led a rebel force that ended the slaughter, lit a remembrance flame in the capital, Kigali. Rwandans will mourn for 100 days, the time it took in 1994 for about a tenth of the country to be massacred. Most of those who died were minority Tutsis and moderate Hutus, killed by ethnic Hutu extremists. Suspected rhino poacher has been trampled on by an elephant, then eaten by a pride of lions in Kruger National Park, South Africa. Accomplice poachers told the victim's family that he had been killed by an elephant on Tuesday. Relatives notified the park ranger. A search party struggled to find the body, but eventually found a human skull and a pair of trousers on Thursday. The managing executive of the park extended his condolences to the family. Entering Kruger National Park illegally and on foot is not wise, he said. It holds many dangers, and this incident is evident of that. Kruger National Park has an ongoing problem with poaching, and there remains a strong demand for rhino hunt in Asian countries. Now for sport news. The General Assembly of the United Nations in Resolution 67/296 proclaimed April 6th as International Day of Sport for Development and Peace. Sierra Leone has therefore joined other countries in commemorating the day with sport activities. The ceremony was held at the Ministry of Sports, Paris. Esther Marie Samura has more.
April 6th has been set aside as International Day of Sports for Development and Peace. Citizens of the world are encouraged to learn, innovate, and promote the ways sports can help countries, communities, and individuals to live peacefully and prosperous lives. To mark this day, Ministry of Sport invited some sporting disciplines, including volleyball, karate, among others, to be part of the celebration. How important is this day to the country? Dr. Kenneth Bremer is the Director of Sport.
Sport is about peace, unity, and empowerment of people. We are determined, as you know, if you check back the history, when we took power, most of the disciplines were almost dead. And at the moment, we are sponsoring almost all disciplines who brought their budgets to us.
Sports can be used as a powerful tool to promote peace, tolerance, and bring people together across boundaries. However, in Sierra Leone, for over 4 years, the game was put on hold due to internal wrangling. It has resumed with funds from government and maximum support from the people of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone national under-21 karate team returned home from the just concluded Zone 2 Karate Championship in Senegal, winning 12 medals. President of the Sierra Leone Karate Federation, Sensei Victor Amara, said amidst their endless effort in promoting the sport, the level of support is low relatively to other sporting disciplines.
I hope that the ministry will take this into consideration, that Sierra Leone Karate Federation has been one of the most obedient and supportive sports towards the Ministry of Sport and towards the people of Sierra Leone, who have been attending international championship, brings laurel to the country. We organize a Zone 2 championship in Sierra Leone, but up to date, we're still looking forward for the ministry to look how to support our association.
Sport has historically played an important role in all societies in a form of competition or physical activity. But what are some of the benefits to Sierra Leonean athletes?
We are happy for this day because the government has made it possible, and we want the government to be celebrating this particular day, this International Sports Day. And we want the government to concentrate particularly in tennis.
We have not been having enough support from the government. I can say the only support we are getting is from our association, because they are organizing such competitions like we play during this day, the International Sports Day, because we want to attract we want to get the attention of the government so that they can come on board and support us, because we are not having enough support from them.
Sport can serve as a powerful tool to strengthen social ties and networks and to promote ideals of peace. Esther Marie Samora, SLBC.
To end the news at the main point, Sierra Leone has joined other countries to observe World Health Day. The Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Youth Affairs has engaged key players in the youth sector. The Catholic Archdiocese of Freetown has concluded this year's annual Lenten pilgrimage with a procession to Mount Calvary, St. Paul's Major Seminary. And President Julius Bio has outlined successes in his first year in office to party supporters. Well, that's the end of the news from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. I've been your presenter, Dina Peters Makobi. Good night and thanks for watching.